At the time of Moses' birth, the Pharaoh had decreed that every newborn Hebrew male child be killed. Through a series of miraculous events, Moses, one of the babies marked for death at this time, was raised by Pharaoh's very own daughter as her own child. And as he grew, he was aware that he was a Hebrew and that he just might be the deliverer of his people from slavery. Yet he lived as an Egyptian, and as an Egyptian and part of Pharaoh's family, all of his needs and wants were supplied. Even so, much of his heart remained tender towards the Hebrews, their suffering, and their God, as taught him at an early age from his biological mother, who had become, which is also a miracle, his nurse under Pharaoh's daughter. However, a time came when, as an adult, that Moses had stepped out of line and he committed murder, thinking that he was helping a slave, and perhaps even thinking that he may have been helping God. Instead, Moses had to flee for his very own life, and he became a refugee, with thoughts vanishing of ever having a hope and a future in God's service to free his people. Like many of us today, he fell off of that straight and narrow path that leads to the kingdom of heaven. No doubt also, like many of us today, he felt lost many times, lonely, confused, and perhaps even hopeless. It took God's intervention for the next 40 years in his life to put him back on that path to victory, back on the path to his future. So friends, what about you? What about all of us? Do we try to help God out at times, only to find that we have made a terrible mess of things? Have we fallen under the weight, that heavy weight of sin, and feel as though we have lost a promising future in Jesus Christ? The prophet Isaiah was inspired to pen these words in Isaiah 64 verse 6, where we read, "But we are all as an unclean thing, and all of our righteousnesses are as filthy rags, and we do all fade as a leaf, and our iniquities like the wind have taken us away." But the good news is this, friend. God the Father sent all of us a Savior in His Son, Jesus Christ. And once we realize that the highest achievement that we can ever have in this life is to fall at the foot of the cross, then He can reach down from heaven with the right arm of His righteousness and set us back on that straight and narrow path that leads to an eternal future with Him. Call out to God. Call out to God as did Moses. His ear is attentive to your prayers if you will but reach out to Him with a repentant